My mind is filled with so many thoughts right now, and despite how incredible I usually am at getting all the knotted up thoughts and making them all nice and neat like a confused pile of threads and making them into a bunch of beautiful balls of yarn, I just feel like there's so much going on right now that every time I find myself understanding more about how I feel and what I think and the things that I want to see, something new comes up, you know? So for me, I've had struggles, we all have, but I'm not gonna go into them. But when the coronavirus hit, for me, the problems that I was dealing with in my head were, oh, my health, oh, bills, oh, my family's health, things like that. And all across social media, you would see people saying like, oh, just stay indoors, things will go back to normal. And I would love that. I would love if back in February we all stayed indoors for 2 weeks and things went back to normal. But even back then, for some reason, that phrase just didn't stick with me. Like it just didn't feel right. What is back to normal, you know? And at first I thought like, oh, maybe I'm feeling these things because, you know, it's a pandemic, you know, like people are dying. And there were businesses that were not acting how they seemed they would act. So I didn't want things to completely go back to normal. I wanted people to be more aware that small businesses rock, you know, things like that. And then all of these things with George Floyd happened. And now it just doesn't seem right. A lot of people that I've seen on social media have been talking about how we need to practice kindness and love, and once we have kindness and peace in the world, things will return back to normal. But the very sad reality is that my normal, the normal for everyone that's saying, just praying like, please, things can go back to normal. Our normal is so different from the normal that other people are experiencing. And I think that's absolutely bizarre. I grew up so freaking privileged, and I am eternally grateful for everything that my parents have done for me, my family, my ancestors, to be able to get me to a place here in beautiful America where I don't have to go through the struggles that my parents went through and that my grandparents went through. And every single day, I am so happy. I'm so happy that I am where I am. But I couldn't help, even at a young age, I'm still young, even at a young age, I couldn't help thinking like, why does this not feel right? Why doesn't it feel right that I'm not supposed to talk about politics, that I'm not supposed to talk about these things with people who might disagree with me? And it's taken me a long time to realize that it's because some of these things don't feel like friggin' politics. I had to think, and sit with myself and meditate for so long to realize that if it was me out there laying on the ground because someone thought that I wrote an inappropriate check, if I was there on the ground and someone's knee was on me, that a lot of my friends and family wouldn't be saying anything because it's too uncomfortable to talk about with family and friends, and it's too uncomfortable to ruin your aesthetic on your timeline, and it's not the right time to talk about it because right now is a time to listen. I'm so grateful that I am alive today. Do you understand that? I'm so grateful that as I've grown up, people have always joked it, but I've dealt with a lot of racist people, and they have always told me, like, wow, you're not like the others, you're so pretty and mild-tempered and nice. What if I wasn't pretty and mild-tempered? What if I had all of these problems inside of me that I was just trying to understand because I was told, like, stay quiet, people might feel uncomfortable. It is such a privilege that the only thing that I have to do to be safe is to keep my mouth shut. I cannot imagine if the thing I needed to do to be safe was to be a different skin color, to love a different human. I've been talking to a lot of my friends, especially those with bigger profiles, people who love to call themselves influencers, because we can influence anyone to use a different hair product and to confront their emotions instead of lashing out at other people. And I love them so much. But when I sit here and I think about how we can convince people to buy a product that they don't even want, and we can't sit here and talk about uncomfortable subjects because it makes us uncomfortable, it simultaneously makes me so grateful that I can avoid being uncomfortable by not talking about difficult subjects. Do you know how privileged you have to be to choose to not address a murder? Murders. There have been so many murders. And these are huge topics. These are huge topics. These are things that we should never, ever, ever had to even think about. And a lot of people are saying that, you know, like, I just need some time, I need to listen. And I wholeheartedly understand the fact that these recent events are completely shattering the beliefs that some of us have had. Like, we thought that if anyone called the cops that they would help you, you know? And I know for a fact that my uncle, who's a cop, if he came here and if anyone called him, he would be the kindest person ever. He would help you, and you would feel so incredible that your issues have been handled, and you would feel like, wow, he's such an incredible person. But it's not like that for every single person. We have a lot of people are saying that they need time to listen to everything that's going on. They need time to process things. And it absolutely stuns me because this has been happening for way too long. We really just haven't been listening to the pleas of other people in the past. Staying silent is not the same thing as listening. If you have no idea what to do, you can take that step from being silent and avoiding even hearing about anything to actively listening, doing research. The same way you would do research if you wanted to know if a product was good for your baby. Do research to know if how you want to feel about all of these things. Because I think that's the step that I took first, is that I just really listened. And I'm so privileged and grateful that I have had a beautiful 23 years of my life to sit here and to listen to other people and decide where I want to stand. But when it comes down to it, I think at the end of the day, showing yourself self-love, loving thy neighbor, being part of a collective whole, whatever you want to call your belief, whatever you want to call it, when you're expressing the fact that you are trying to learn how to be more than yourself, more than one singular human, connected to others, connected to a higher source. God, I don't even know what I want to say. How can we be connected to others and to a higher source if we don't even listen and encourage others to do the same? I feel like that's the bare minimum. And I guess I wanted to make this video because I'm very, very upset at how people don't even just want to listen right now. And I know that there's a lot of things that are going on in my life right now that are really pushing me to confront the situation that I'm in, but ultimately at the end of the day, you just have to control what you can, and I don't even want to control anyone and what they choose to do, but I really, really hope that everyone that watches this video looks within themselves and looks at what they have the power to do. And I hope that you all realize that you at least have the power to listen to these stories of very real people that are going through things. And I hope that you feel moved to take an action, whether it's encouraging other people to listen, donating money, signing petitions, or whatever it may be. I love you all so much. I thank you for being here. I guess this is the very first of my uncut, completely uncut videos. And I don't think I have the YouTube rights, whatever verification, whatever it's called, to put links here that aren't related to me in my video. So in the description, I'm going to put a bunch of links that if you are ready to listen and do a little bit more, you can start there with me. And if anyone wants to talk about any of this, I would love to. Gosh, that's a lot.